Hey travelers, welcome back to a new video. In this video, we're going to talk about what exactly is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Can you use these terms interchangeably? Are they the same thing? We're going to go into detail what each of these words mean. I had the privilege of taking a course at Cornell University on diversity, equity, inclusion, and I want to bring what I learned from the course to you all today. But before we begin, make sure you smash the subscribe button and smash the like button for more content like this. All right, travelers, let's get started. When we talk about diversity, we're talking about a broad range of individual or group differences that contribute to a society, our workplaces, our classrooms as a whole. But there are two different ways that we can think about when we think about diversity. The first way is what many people think of when they think about diversity, and this is your surface level characteristics. And this can include race, gender, age, disability status, sexual orientation, religion, for example. The second way that you can categorize diversity is through more deeper level characteristics. And this can include somebody's interest, their personality, and their values. When we talk about diversity, we tend to focus on surface level or demographic characteristics because depending on the group that you belong to, you may have certain life experiences as a result of being part of that group. Historically, certain social identity groups have been linked to disparities in access to opportunities, status, and privilege. When we talk about disparities in the United States, we often think about women or minorities like Blacks or Hispanics, for example. But it's important to know that just because you're a woman or just because you're a part of a minority group, that is not an indication of differences in ability or potential or competence. But what happens is that if you are a member of one of these groups, if you're a woman or if you're a part of a minority group, people have certain perceptions and they make certain judgments about you because you belong to that group. And as a result, that poses challenges in regards to diversity in society and within organizations. In the United States context, although we have many different ways to define and characterize diversity, such as, with age, religion, disability status, for example, we tend to focus more on race and gender. Now, why do we do that? Well, there are many different factors, including our history. There's the history of slavery, the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement. It's easy to see, it's easy to quantify, and there's a lot of different research that has gone into it. We treat sometimes race and gender as synonyms for diversity, but we have to keep in mind that race and gender are only two parts of diversity. There's many different ways to categorize diversity. There's many different ways, or there's many different characteristics and identities that a person can have. There has been a shift from just talking about diversity to talking about diversity and inclusion. Sometimes when we say diversity and inclusion, we just treat it as one concept, when in fact they're two distinct concepts. There is a leader in the DEI space, and her name is Verna Myers. Essentially, she has a famous quote, and this quote says, "Diversity is being invited to the party, whereas inclusion is being asked to dance." And that's essentially what inclusion is, in my opinion. It's inviting someone, it's including people. Inclusion in the workplace allows people to feel supported, successful, and valued in the workplace. It gives them a stake at what is going on, and it allows them to reach their full potential. Inclusion invites everybody to the table. And in the example of the dance, inclusion means that there are no wallflowers, that everybody is dancing and everybody has a role in the organization, and it leaves no one out. You can't just bring people into a company and just say we're diverse for the sake of being diverse. Check. A key part of inclusion is investing in the people. You have to create opportunities for advancement and be able to develop the people that are already in the workplace. There should be a focus on retention. It should be where employees or people or members feel like not only they belong, but they want to be there. When we talk about inclusion in the workplace setting, it is not enough to say, are we recruiting historically underrepresented groups? A big part of inclusion is focusing on retention and focusing on the people that are already in the workplace. We should ask ourselves questions such as, what is the environment like? Do the members in an organization feel valued? Do they feel respected? What is the promotion levels like? Is there representation of mentors at a higher level? And not just representation, are the people at the higher level who can serve as mentors, do they have a stake and the employees in a lower rank, for example? The E in DEI stands for equity. However, some organizations mix up equity with equality. Equality states that individuals are treated the same irrespective of their identity and their status. Equity, on the other hand, states that in some situations, individuals are treated differently in order to achieve justice, fairness, and equality of opportunity. An equitable approach would be to look at the needs of each individual student. The tall student does not need the box to see the game. The shorter student may need 2 boxes to see the game, and the student in the wheelchair may need a ramp of a certain height to be able to see the game. Equity would mean providing each student with the appropriate support to ensure that each person has the opportunity to watch the game. Some organizations make the mistake of prioritizing equality over equity. Equality might be easier to achieve because you're essentially just giving the same resources and opportunities to people. However, if you do not look at individual needs, you may be creating and maintaining disparities among workers. To create a more inclusive environment for everyone, including marginalized groups, organizations should look at their current practices and identify any unjust practices and address them. By doing this proactively, you are creating a more equitable and inclusive environment for everyone. All right, travelers, well, that concludes today's video. In the comment section below, let me know if this video was helpful and let me know ideas for future videos that you would like to see. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. And check out my free e-course. The link is in the description box below. I go over all things travel and careers in international affairs. Travelers, as always, it's been a pleasure. And until next time, let's travel with our dreams together. See you later. Bye-bye.